Thank you so much. Uh, do we have just 20 minutes as now 19.5 minutes as it shows? Okay, anyway, let's start. And uh, Gen AI or AI is such a hot and interesting discussion these days everywhere. And this is, after a long time, I think this is one IT topic or subject or buzzword which everybody seems to be talking about. You don't need to be a IT engineer or an IT professional or a business decision maker. So it's a storm which it has created. And I think what we want to today discuss is what's happening actually on the ground, what's happening. So let me, without really taking too much time, because we already have lost a minute, let me just ask my first question. And that question is that, so what we will do is that we will have a couple of questions. It would be good if we can have short and crisp answers to those questions. And at the end of our Q&A, we will throw the stage open for any questions from the audience. And then you guys are there for any other supplementary questions or more clarifications that people have after that. So, ChatGPT, then what is it called? The various, now the DeepSeek, so many things have come in the space now. Is there uncertainty in the industry? Are the CIOs and the CTOs, have they come to grips with what's happening here? Or do you think that it is a little too early and things are still evolving and perhaps it's worthy to wait and watch? Yeah.
There's clearly uncertainty for sure, but I think there's a lot of excitement as well. I think we are seeing the pace of change and pace of innovation is just so rapid. I think it's probably after silicon happened 30, 35 years back, this is probably one of the technologies where the pace of change is just absolutely sort of rapid. And I think possibilities are innumerable. We've already seen the models becoming commoditized now, where it started from OpenAI and now DeepSeek, from the level of investment that was needed to sort of build it. The layer below that to consume these models has also been built out. Now I think is the application layer where we'll see a lot of innovation, a lot of stuff getting built, a lot of ideas getting built across all categories. And the obvious ones like the content and developer is already built out. I think we'll see other sort of vertical categories now getting built out.
So I think I supplement what Prajakt said with a little bit of a addition that perhaps there will be more innovation happening even at an enterprise level with a lot of SLMs or small language models being generated which are customized to the enterprise or to the verticals that they're servicing from that angle. And I think there is also wait and watch. I would say there are a lot of people who are sitting on the fence right now from CIO's perspective to see exactly what will they be adopting within their organization, how does it integrate with their application layers and the whole enterprise infrastructure setup, etc. So I think that part is still there. But yes, adoption is happening for sure, and people are excited about it.
Rahul?
Thanks. Yeah, so I think it's a mix and match. You wait, but you probably miss the bus, right? Because it's democratized. So you have the dev guy who's a little smarter, who is using it, maybe not on his official machine, but personally he's using it and scaling up stuff. So while watching is fine, but the wait part, I kind of disagree with. He should jump in, understand it, start implementing it with caveats, and then go ahead.
So, Yeah, so you are saying that we can't wait anymore, and waiting could be detrimental. You will have to be a little more prudent, but you have to start using it and getting into it.
Thanks. It's a question of implementing it, getting a guideline sorted, your guardrails in place, so that even as you scale up, you are following your compliances, but the organization is getting ready, getting used to it, and you're not getting left behind in the whole
Okay.
racket.
Yeah.
I just have a point there because, see, what happened is we get excited about new technologies. RPA happened about 10, 12 years back. There was a lot of buzz around it. But if you look at the industry, what was the adoption rate and how many industries really changed because of RPA? I don't think so. There are too many examples, that have come forward. Except that, yes, point-in-time automation did happen, and there was a lot of leverage on efficiency that was gained. But it did not change the world, right?
So are you suggesting that Gen AI will also meet the same fate?
No, I'm not suggesting that at all. There is a lot of adoption we have already done. In fact, just to tell you, Sun Life won the CIO award in Canada for adoption of the first Gen AI, chatbot for the enterprise itself.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a minute. But first, let's get clarity on this entire Gen AI revolution that is now, everybody is trying to get on board with that. Now, just tell me that as CIOs and CTOs, has this entire thing about Gen AI, has it really, has it changed your mandate, your style of functioning? Has your my list of things to do today, has that got changed? Has your, if I can extend, I think this was discussed in the previous session also, has your relationship with the board, is that also going through some kind of a change?
Yes to all of them. But the other really important thing in my space is that you can start actually positively affecting the bottom line in terms of implementing processes, practices, speeding up a lot of stuff. It has a direct impact on that. And yeah, it does, of course, go up to the board level because everybody's worried about compliance at the end of the day. You don't want data flying all over the place. So it's two ends of the spectrum. But CIO actually positively affecting business and being able to demonstrate an X% change because of a particular implementation is now possible here. Very, very, very clearly. In my personal experience, that's what's happened.
So that's a big thing, because I think for a long time it was said that CIO was heading a cost center, and now you are saying it could be a profit center or a revenue, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know whether a revenue center or not, but definitely sort of driving business leaps and bounds ahead, impacting the productivity in the business across all functions is absolutely, definitely happening. I mean, I'm seeing in the tech organization.
We'll talk about that in a minute. So how has your life as a CIO or a CTO or Faisal or Rahul, how has your life changed? Has it changed for the better, or life has got more challenging and difficult?
Yeah, my life has definitely changed. I think a lot of things that typically otherwise we would do.
In the last 12 months?
In the last 12 months, absolutely.
Okay. Let's hear
I think
about
from
that.
a developer productivity perspective, that the way sort of developers have been working, that has changed. The software engineering processes are changing. The way sort of you do documentation, the way you do. So engineering has definitely is absolutely evolving and changing, and I can already see impact of productivity on that, on the engineering org perspective. On the other departments also, where manpower was needed, that is also absolutely getting impacted. So whether you measure it in productivity increase, or you measure it in reduction of manpower requirement, I can absolutely see the change.
one big change I can talk about is also about the adoption of the Gen AI. So that's also become kind of a mandated thing, right? So in our organization specifically, we almost mandated that all engineering teams actually adopt Copilot. And this is for the first time that we mandated something for the engineering teams to do. So again, to Prajakt's point, yes, productivity is being definitely driven. And yes, the revenue part also. So when a CIO is sitting on the board, I think the impact that he can bring into the cost revenue ratio is definitely a question that is being asked at this point of time.
Rahul, you said that the life has definitely changed. In what ways has the life of a CIO or a CTO changed?
All over the place. Again, going back to my previous example, see, it's democratic, so everybody uses it, right? So you have a guy who probably may not have been heard within the organization, but has gone and figured out something which is positive for the organization at an extremely junior level.
Mm-hmm.
So life has changed from the perspective you have to be on the ball. You have to know what's happening. What are and from a very, very practical implementation perspective, because that's where I come from, right? What is the what is something new available on Hugging Face, for example, right? Those kind of scenarios. What are the cross functionalities that you can create with an enterprise-based AI? So forces you to think.
And it's on the positive side. This change that you are seeing is on the positive side for.
I love it. Bluntly, I love it because I like being on the ball of technology and running. So I'm freaking out on that.
Oh, that's good to know. My next question is that wherever deployment is happening in whichever department of the organization or for whatever service, have you started seeing impact and results or still waiting?
Yeah, no, so we are seeing impact.
Tangible
as I said,
impact.
tangible
and
impact
results.
especially on the developer productivity side, definitely.
Productivity is one, yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
The quality of documentation, the quality of code, we see definite improvement on that. Customer service side, early days, but we can see that even though the business is growing, the requirement on the customer support side, handling queries, early days, simpler queries, but the queries which are now natural language, I mean, where you don't have to sort of teach the customer how to use software, something that they can do in natural language, those are getting handled now. And that's a trajectory now. I mean, we can see more and more complex use cases getting handled through that.
So yes, we also have some early adoption happening. So in terms of, as I was saying, Ask Sun Life is a chatbot that we introduced. There are about 10,000 queries that we get almost every day from the employees across the globe. There's definitely an impact on productivity that we are already observing with Copilot being introduced. The other side, which is how do we get business adoption happening? I think that's where there is still work in progress. Also to see the ROI, of adopting, because especially in BFSI space, there are a lot of legacy systems that exist, and having those, integrated into the whole Gen AI workflows, agentic workflows, etc. That's something which is still under experiment. And we expect to see some gains, but I think overall, the gains right now, as rightly said, are more on the productivity side, more on the knowledge management side, and those are the areas where it's happening.
Yeah, agreed. Productivity and speed to response. I mean, simple example. One of the organizations I work with is a managed security service provider. We've been able to positively impact their mean time to response by just putting in a fine-tuned AI, hooking it up to a vectorized database, and routine responses have
Become faster and
almost real time. the lower level stuff which analysts would waste time scrolling through 1,000 pages of rubbish security alerts and miss the actual stuff. Brilliant. So it pops up faster. Direct impact.
Great. I think these are just a few examples. I'm sure there are a lot more areas where the impact is being tried out and felt. My next question is that with Gen AI now coming into the organizations, large, medium, and small, do you people also see more and newer security policies and practices to come in?
Damn, that is crazy. Sorry, I'm going for this because it's something close to my heart. So you have you have a whole bunch of unlocked or how do I say jailbroken AIs, which are available off the dark web. It's again democratizing hacking.
Democratizing hacking.
Democratizing hacking, spoofing, voice generation, all these kind of things.
Yeah, we see in here and hear of these cases every day.
So it's crazy and scary, the speed at which it's adopted. See, one must not forget, the serious hacking community are extremely talented guys.
So can it come in the way of adoption of Gen AI?
It can, which is why you have to be secure. Otherwise, you have a rogue AI infiltrating your enterprise AI and creating havoc or quietly siphoning off data from there and selling it. It's scary.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a double-edged sword, right? On one side, if you want people to adopt it, there's always a risk, security risk, data risk. So you have to sort of educate.
So we'll see newer and more security practices and policies coming in.
It is going to happen. I think a lot of it is still happening outside India. So some of the models now we need to have in India. So there's a big infrastructure push that is going to come. That will happen from government also and other places. But some of those models we will need hosted in India so that we are more secured with some of our data.
Yeah, I think I agree. It will require us to relook at our security policies, etc. Both at a network layer as well as at the application layer. And a lot of guardrails have to be built. As Rahul very rightly said, it can very easily go rogue. So yes, I think adoption can be hampered, and there are only two things which will slow it down. One is obviously the security piece from an enterprise adoption perspective, and the other is the return on investment. I think those would be the key from a CIO perspective.
Mm-hmm. And you see, listening to all of you, it seems we are in the right direction, hopefully. Yes. Okay, my next question is that how ready are your teams? Do they need a lot of reskilling? Do they are they in a position to really leverage and capitalize all the Gen AI platforms and tools that we are bringing in or planning to bring in? Are there enough training material courses available for them?
Yeah, just because of the pace of change is so high that there isn't really some standard sort of training material that's available. But like, for example, for us, we created internal knowledge bases. We've created set of people who are monitoring, looking at industry, looking at what is happening and sort of disseminate that information to different people, different ways. So educate them. So there is, at every department, I think there is a need for reskilling, how to use the tools, how to securely use it, what are the tools which they should use, what are the things that they should be aware about. Developers especially, there is a reskilling that is needed because now the way sort of they are thinking has to change. It's almost like intelligence as service, it's available to you now. And how do you leverage it for your benefit rather than being sort of insecure
not just
about
developers. I am told that salespeople and pre-sales people are not being included in the team because they don't know enough of AI and Gen AI.
Maybe true. I think you can create tools for them because I think it's an empowering tool for sales and others also. The pitch decks can be sort of created now, something that could happen at a certain level. Now you can do exact same thing at a fairly junior level. So even they have to change. They have to sort of figure out. And you'll see a lot of adoptions are happening bottoms up as against top down. So the digital savvies are the ones who are discovering, figuring out, and leveraging those tools very rapidly. So I think it's a bottom-up thing. The reskilling is needed maybe slightly at a senior level. The juniors are probably just picking it up fairly.
I think I quite
So
agree
you
to that.
guys need reskilling first, then.
Absolutely.
No, I think I quite agree to that point, actually. But having said that, I think if the area where I'm coming from, we have a large workforce, which is millennials and maybe Gen Alphas will get in very soon. But because of that, I think what we are looking at is also on the operations side. How do we adopt, Gen AI? And people are excited about it. We are almost to a point where we are declaring ourselves as DigiOps, and so coming from DevOps
To DigiOps,
DigiOps. So we are actually going towards DigiOps, where a lot of low-code, no-code work would actually happen at the base level itself, rather than waiting for the IT teams to come in and
do that.
do those changes for us. And it's already happening. So I see that getting more and more into the practice, and I think getting more democratized, as Rahul very rightly said, and the adoption becoming more at the bottom of the pyramid.
Yeah. Rahul?
True. Bottom of the pyramid is where the action is. There's hesitation at the leadership level because of all the other noise which is being made. But on a very practical basis, more nimble organizations it spreads across. One of the things we did was created a sales proposal generating process. So that's kind of brought that has a direct impact on the account manager's time saving. He doesn't have to run around to go to so many guys and get validation. Okay, so it's more kind of glorified notebook LLM kind of scenario. So it kind of operates within what the organization is capable of doing, and he doesn't go and sell them a fantasy, but your entire cycle gets knocked off.
Yeah.
So it depends on how you kind of implement it and what's the approach that you're taking to implement the whole thing.
Yeah, how do you implement, and what's the approach? Okay. So I think we have run out of time, but just last question, and please don't take more than 15 minutes. 15 seconds. 15 seconds for this. So what does the next 12 months look like? What's there on the horizon? What does the next 12 months look like as far as enterprises and their future with Gen AI is concerned?
CIOs are only going to be limited by their imagination. The applications are crazy, and working within the organization to kind of get that in place, depending on what the organization is looking at, that's probably the only.
Very well said. Yeah. Faisal?
Yeah, so I think what I see is tons of POCs happening. And we are going that route and establish the proof of concept and move forward.
Good. That's really encouraging.
I think
yeah.
same is what I feel. I think it's very hard to predict what will happen in 12 months, but the pace of change is so rapid. I would say that at the application layer, we will see a lot of interesting stuff getting built out. Of course, the cost will significantly go down. Today, that's one of the hurdles for a lot of us to sort of think about whether we can host our own model. That cost of hosting inferences will significantly go down, and the application building will become very, very cheap.
Yeah, I think that's very important, and that's how I also see things sort of panning out. Well, that brings us to the end of this very short, but hopefully we tried and cover as many topics in this as we could. Do we have a time for one or two questions? Or
Time's up.
Time is up. Okay.
Sorry.
Thank you so much. But the experts are going to be around for some more time, so you can catch them for any one-on-one questions that you might have. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And